Joining us today from Southern West Virginia Health System, we have psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner Joni Gallion. Thanks for joining us, Joni.
Great to see you.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, talk to us about what mental health is.
Mental health is health. Your overall well-being really depends heavily on your mental well-being. If you physically are healthy but don't feel mentally healthy, you still don't feel well. Mental illness impacts a lot more than just your mood. It can impact your job performance, your interpersonal relationships, and even your environment.
And what about for kids and people, you know, of younger ages? How does mental health affect them?
Mental health can be very detrimental for our youth. They're a very vulnerable population. This age range is developing thoughts about who they are and about life. They're developing traits and characteristics that will be with them their entire life. So if they're struggling with mental illness, a lot of times they'll develop some very maladaptive views of themselves and the world that can make it really hard for them to function in it.
And you know, as parents, sometimes, you know, they're not as talkative to us, and sometimes they're withdrawn depending on what age range they're in. So what are some behaviors that we should, you know, maybe be alerted to, that there is something going on more so than we realize with them?
Yeah, mental illness manifests differently in everybody, but for children, some of the common signs you'll see are frequent headaches or stomach aches, increased anger or irritability. They'll have heightened school avoidance or decrease in their school performance. A lot of times they'll have disturbances in their sleep patterns or their appetite, or be getting in trouble a lot more at school.
So if a parent does see any of those things happening with their child, what should they really do?
Well, the first thing you should do is talk to your child. Ask them if there's something going on or something bothering them. If they're not willing to open up, you can talk to their teachers and see if there's a change in them at school. There's always the possibility of getting them referred to their guidance counselor or asking their pediatrician to refer them for psychiatric or psychological counseling. The biggest thing to do is just not ignore it and assume that it's a phase or that it'll go away on its own.
That's a great point there. Okay, so what can we all do to help break the barriers and that stigma surrounding mental health?
Yes, educate yourselves on mental health. There's lots of great websites out there. The National Institute for Mental Health or Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration are really great websites to get a lot of information about different mental health conditions. If you have a family member or friend who you feel like might be struggling, ask them about it. Stigmas mostly arise because we treat a topic like it's taboo or shameful, or we pretend it doesn't exist. The more we talk about it, the more barriers will break.
Yeah, and hopefully someone watching today is taking that to heart. Well, Joni, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.